All right, so for the Tracy the Turtle programming, you're going to use this link here. So a little bit about Tracy the Turtle is that it's like a thing built into Python code that you can use this little turtle and have her go all around the screen. She's just named Tracy. You can name them whatever you want, actually, in like real Python. But most of the time, they're called Tracy the Turtle. It's a really easy way to learn how to do Python code because you can actually see what's happening. This is how I first learned Python, was with Tracy the Turtle, and it's pretty cool. So this will give you a little intro. So I'm going to click this link, and it'll take me to this website. And it's on this Code HS website, which is there's one free like whole lesson curriculum that you can learn, but then there's also ones that you can pay for if you really want to learn more about coding this summer or things like that. Code HS is a really good resource. So this video will like teach you some of the basics of it. It is a little bit longer, but it will kind of give you an overview of what's possible with Tracy and how that works. So I'm going to move on. So basically, you're going to see an example. So Tracy will draw a letter T and draw it on the screen. So if I click run, so this is all of the code here. So one important thing to know about Python is that you can add in these lines, these green ones, 1, 8, 13, and 19. They're green because they have that hashtag symbol at the front, and that makes it so that this is just like a note to yourself. So like the code doesn't actually read this. This does nothing to the code. If I were to delete it, it would be the exact same thing. But it just lets you know exactly like what does this little bit of code do. Because if you just had all of these in a line and you didn't know what it was, it'd be really confusing on what all of this does. So adding those in just really helps to understand what the code is doing. So if we run the code, we can see Tracy move and put the pen down to draw this letter T. So there is like that little description. You can always pop that up too. And so this is just like an example one, and then you're going to draw your letter. So if your first letter of your name does start with a T, do like your last name, just so that you are doing a different letter and not the exact same thing that she's doing in the video or the little example, but you're going to make Tracy try and move to make whatever letter. So if I was doing a J or an F for my name, and they also say K, N, V, X, and Z can also be harder because it's at that angle. Then try using your middle name or last name too, just because they can be a little bit more tricky. So I can't do a T, and I recommend not trying to do one of these yet unless you can figure out a really creative way to do it. So you're going to draw that letter. And it kind of goes through adding a bubble letter. So they show you Tracy's bubble, and then you get to try adding color, doing those things. And then at the end, you get to create a masterpiece of the first letter of your name. So it kind of gives you some directions. And then when you are all done, what you're going to turn in is a little video of your codes, this code that you make here at the end. Like you can run it, show me what it does, and then also show me like your actual code and explain to me like what it's doing or like what you made, how you made it, that kind of thing. Since there's no link or anything to turn in, I just want to be able to see your code and then you explain to me what it does.